Okay, you guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for another one of our Military Families for Free Expression events. We are just so excited to have this opportunity to convene us, you all. We are one big family kind of fighting the same cause, but we're super excited to see you here tonight. You still have time to share the link with friends. If you know people that should be here that aren't, feel free to tag them and grab them and bring them in here because we have a lot of really great stuff to talk about and cover tonight, and also some amazing speakers. So if you didn't catch the last session, we have that on our Substack. You can catch the replay, and we'll do the same again tonight. So we're really excited to have you. Don't worry about taking notes. We'll give you a follow-up after the fact. We want you to be here and engage with us, and try to get as much out of this as you can. So I'm Kelly, by the way. I'm one of your hosts, and our other amazing co-host is Tori. Tori, say hi to the people and a quick welcome from you.
Hello, you guys. We are so excited for this second event. We're so excited to get together again and truly build this amazing community. Just a quick disclaimer, we are recording tonight, and that is, we will not be showing anybody's faces, anyone who is in the crowd, but we are recording just to be able to send it to you guys and do some fun stuff with this beautiful show that we have lined up tonight. Now, speaking of the beautiful show we have lined up tonight, quickly, I want to go over how the evening's going to go. So, we are going to hear from some brilliant people tonight, kind of interview style. We have an awesome lineup for you guys. And then we are going to learn about opportunities that we can take action from amazing people who are already taking action, you guys. And then we're just going to continue to build this amazing community of military families for free expression. Feel free to engage in the chat. You guys can talk to each other. There's no other cameras other than the speakers that are going to be talking with us tonight. So feel free to talk to each other in the chat. And without further ado, I'm going to kick it off to Miss Libby.
All right, let me see.
Hi, everyone. Oh,
There we go.
great.
There's Libby.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kelly and Tori, for kicking us off. And hi to everyone. Thanks for joining from literally around the world. So we're really excited to be here for these really important conversations to talk about how our community of military connected families can stand up to censorship and the book bans that we're unfortunately continuing to see pop up in our communities, both on and off base. I'm excited to bring on Angie Hayden from Read Freely, Alabama, to talk about some really important work that's happening at the state level as well. There's some ongoing efforts to really implement some stringent censorship in Alabama libraries. So Angie's going to talk about that. But I wanted to say, Angie, I loved your story. She shared her bio with me, and part of it talked about how now she's, running and managing the Read Freely Alabama efforts. But it started with you just going and speaking at your city council meeting, and now here you are a few years later. And I think that's such a inspiring story. It kind of goes to what Julia was just talking about, like the ripple effects of raising your voice, and the next thing you know, you're running a running a nonprofit. But I thought that was a great story. So yeah, please tell us what's happening in Alabama, and how you all are pushing back on it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's so good to be here with all of you. I'm right outside of Montgomery, which is where Maxwell and Gunner Air Force bases are, if any of you are familiar. But yeah, this started actually not even 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I am in Prattville, right outside of Montgomery. And I caught wind that someone was going to our city council and demanding that some books be removed from the children's section of our public library. I know a lot of what you hear typically is school libraries, but here it has started in our public libraries, which is, another level of terrifying. And my children grew up in that library. I have pictures of both of them coming out with books stacked to their little noses. They're both grown in their mid-20s now. And my oldest, Kristen, happens to be part of the LGBTQ community. And the thought of these Moms for Liberty adjacent people telling not only my child, but children like my child that they were somehow inappropriate or dirty or dangerous for the community and children just was not something that I was okay with. And so I think the first words out of my mouth after I spoke, right after the here it's Clean Up Alabama rather than Moms for Liberty, but they are one of the same, was, my name is Angie Hayden, and I want you all to understand that there's more than one kind of concerned parent in Prattville. And that kind of kicked off this citywide battle that kind of turned into a statewide battle. And here we are 2.5 years later, and I believe we have a little over 3,000 members statewide, chapters across the state, and we are in the thick of it. It has been quite the battle, and I don't think it's going to be over anytime soon, unfortunately. We have experienced that same familiar pattern that you've probably seen play out all across the country, where these people are sent into the libraries to find these books, and they will bring a book, maybe from the young adult section, pick out one incredibly out of context paragraph and read it aloud and imply or sometimes outright say that it is in the section for 8-year-olds, as is what happened here. And their strategy is to stir up a fear and an anger in your community. And once that happens, they have their foot in the door, and then they can accomplish a lot of devastation in your library. They really do kind of take control. And then they move very quickly from LGBTQ inclusive material to books that they consider racially divisive. Stories of, Black Americans. The Hate U Give comes to mind, which is about police violence against Black youth in America. And it won't stop there. And I think that it's important to understand that this is happening in individual communities and in libraries. It's happening at the state legislature here. We helped defeat 2 bills for the last 2 sessions. The last session was HB4, which was the Jail the Librarians bill. And this bill would have made it possible to put librarians in jail if they refused to remove some of these materials. And then now, what I really want to focus on tonight is at the Alabama Public Library Service, which is our state administration that is, until recently has never been the decider of where books go in the library, or they've never been responsible for moving books. They've simply been responsible for distributing state funds that's within their purview. However, that changed last year with the appointment of John Wall, who also happens to be the Alabama GOP chair. And then that began a stacking of the board with Moms for Liberty sympathizers, if not members. And so now they have introduced an amendment to the state code that would ban all positive depictions of transgender people or the concept of more than one gender. I suppose the negative depictions will be allowed to stay, but the positive ones are going to be restricted from minors sections. And here's the sneaky part. Not only are they going to restrict those books from minor sections, but the preceding part of the code says that materials inappropriate for minors will not be allowed to be purchased going forward. So it's kind of a very sneaky backdoor way of banning these materials from your public library altogether. They won't even be allowed to purchase them to go in the adult section. We are in the public comment period for that amendment, which ends on the 14th. And if you are in Alabama, if you have an Alabama address, we have on our website, readfreelyalabama.org, a template letter. We've tried to make this process as simple as possible. You can go in, fill your name, address, sign it, and we will take care of the rest for you. We're actually having to copy and paste them into a Word document and print them all out. I plan to hand deliver them myself. Right now we are at a little over 1,000 letters, and I plan to keep copy, pasting, and printing letters until the closing of the 14th of the business day. And then on the 21st, there is a public hearing at the APLS. You want to come to Montgomery and meet me there. You can speak, you can have your 2 minutes and tell them what you think about this amendment. And And if you're not in Alabama, I think there's probably a fair chance that some of you know someone who is. So you can go to our website, copy that link, and send it out en masse to everyone you can think of. We know for a fact that Moms for Liberty, Clean Up Alabama, and a couple of other extremist organizations are working overtime. They are taking stacks of these blank letters to their churches and groups. And so we really need every single voice. Trying to think of anything else maybe that you might need to know. And if you're not in Alabama, I'm sorry to say that there's a pretty good chance that this is going to be coming your way soon. So if any of you experience this where you are, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help you get something started and make a little good trouble wherever you are. And it stuck out to me, Kelly, when you mentioned not feeling small and creating an energy that others can pick up on. That really resonated with me because when I first started this, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I'd never done anything like this, and it just occurred to me one day that these Moms for Liberty ladies were going to the state house and they were being incredibly audacious. And so I just thought, well, if they can be audacious, so can I. And the first time we affected something on the state level, I was kind of shocked. It's like, oh my God, that worked. You can just do these things. And it really has created an energy, especially in a state that is so very Alabama. I think that sometimes people, there's this, especially amongst people who look like me, there's this unsaid rule that you're not supposed to speak up about certain things or say certain things. But I think that every time one of us does, it makes it a little easier for the next one to speak up as well. And it kind of creates this momentum. And I think that's what we need more than anything right now is people need maybe to see someone else go first. So I think that that's pretty much all that I have. I really want to just encourage everybody to get involved. If you're in a position where you can join your local library board, do that, because I assure you Moms for Liberty is doing it. They're recruiting people left and right. If you think you can't do that, join your local Friends of the Library and get involved and create those connections.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Angie, not just for your work on pushing back on this amendment, but for all the work that you're doing and all the encouragement that you're giving. I think that's just really great advice. You know, get involved where you can and how you can. And again, going back to Julia's comment on the ripple effects. I mean, look now at the just massive ripple effects that are coming from your work. So thank you. And we shared our comment. MFFE submitted a comment. So we shared that in the chat, as well as the link for folks to submit a comment. And, you know, if you're stationed in the state, definitely do it. I think even folks, like if you're from Alabama, but maybe you're stationed somewhere else right now, but you are
all you
from
need
the
is that
state.
Alabama address. As long as you have that address, you're good to go.
Great. And then everybody share, like Kelly said in the comments, you know, activate that MilSpouse network, and let's share and get as many comments in as possible. So thank you so much for being here, Angie, and for everything that you and your organization are doing.
I printed y'all's letter today. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, well, now we're going to continue with the Alabama theme tonight. And we have Karie with us to talk about, she's a military widow and author of Alive Day, which everyone should check that out. And the founder of the first traveling banned book wagon in Alabama, which I just think is such a cool story. And we're going to hear all about how it came to be, and how you are working on a lot of what Angie was just talking about, being that person to take that step out and speak up even when it can seem a little scary to do so. So Karie, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I'm Karie Fugett. Like she said, I am an author. I'm also a mom, military widow, Recently, a local activist, as Angie was saying, you my experience has been that when I step up to do something because no one else is, and I'm like, well, I might as well be the one to do it. It always snowballs, and I'm like, wait a second, okay, now people are looking to me for things. But anyway, and now I'm the owner of the Bandwagon, which is it's a mix of things. But it started a bookstore, but it's going to be now a traveling little free library. We want to do book swaps. We want to have events where we are reading from banned books, and also teaching people about these banned books so that they aren't so afraid of them. Because also, as Angie was saying, there's a lot of rhetoric around these books and misinformation. And for the most part, what I've noticed is people who are really riled up about them don't actually know what's in them. They're just sort of repeating what other people say. So I feel like education is really important, and I want to be able to bring it to people, so that I can, no matter where someone is at, they can access these things.
Yeah, well, so tell us a little bit about like your, I guess activism journey sounds so dramatic, but how you can how you came to be here, like where did the idea come from? What was that spark that led you to want to do this?
It's a combination of things. Like I said, I'm an author, I'm a mom. Those two things specifically, books, information, stories, the First Amendment, that's very important to me. I'm also, like I said, a military widow. Like my husband fought and died for these freedoms. And part of me just feels like I have a responsibility to also fight for these things if I see that they're being challenged. Um, Originally, though, I guess the activism started with the No Kings protests. They were happening around, nationwide, and there wasn't one in Dothan. And I was like, I guess I'll do it. Which isn't to say that I don't want to. I'm just I'm introverted. It's really not my personality to step up and speak out in that way. And, Alabama is also, it's a little scary sometimes to speak up about these specific topics. But no one else was doing it, and it's important to me, so I just did it. And then that kind of snowballed, and now I'm like one of the organizers of all the protests that are happening in the area. And then that started making me think about like the other needs in Alabama beyond protesting. And a lot of things came up, but I guess because I'm an author and my love of books, I was really trying to find something that both felt purposeful and also joyful. Um, because I think in this climate, it's just so easy to get burnt out, right? And I'm the protests already. We have a group of people that they're just absolutely amazing, and we kind of just rotate out because one of us is like, we need to tap out, we need a break, other one takes over. And I didn't want to add to that, but I still wanted to do something that felt like it was making a difference. So I was inspired by actually the Fairhope librarians who were defunded because they refused to take certain books off of the shelf. And I was like, like, I want to be like them. I want to further their cause in this state, especially as it's getting worse and worse. So I just had this vision of like this old truck. I was like, I want it to be rusty and like American made and like have stories of its own to tell. And I was just like imagining building bookshelves on the back of it and bringing it into towns that maybe don't have bookstores or have strong book bans or whatever, and offering these books for free, offering events. So yeah, I searched for a truck and I found a little Ford 1940 pickup and fell in love with it. And now we're building bookshelves into it. And the support really has been amazing. It's actually been shocking. I like started talking about it and it took off faster than I'm able to build the bookshelves. So I'm like hustling to catch up.
That's a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I I love that one. I love a good, introvert story, when it's like, what are the protest signs? It's like it's so bad that even the introverts
Yes.
are here, right? Like
Yes.
that's where
We
we
have
are
had
right
those
now.
signs at ours for sure.
But it's also, I think kind of going back to Angie's story too, like the unintentional activists, right? Like finding what matters to you and what kind of lights that spark to you. And like you said, it's so hard right now. Um, it's hard to be on your phone and just doom scrolling, and there's so much bad news, so much bad policy, so much impact that we're seeing on our community. It's really easy to get overwhelmed and just step away. But I think finding that intersection of like pushing back and fighting back, but doing it in a way that makes sense for you and what you care about. None of us are going to be able to solve everything. Like, the dumpster fire that's going on right now, we're not going to be able to put it out by ourselves. But again, going back to, I would just love the ripple effect piece of it. Like we all have to be throwing those stones and making those ripples, and this is a great way to do it. So thank you to you and the introverts of the world stepping up at this time when we need them the most. But would love to hear too, like what is your advice to other military family members? Like how can they, I hope you guys can't hear my dog snoring so loudly in the background. I apologize.
I don't hear that.
But okay, good, great. It's distracting on this end. But yeah, what's your advice to folks on the call who want to maybe get away from the doom scrolling and take action like you are?
A lot of what I would suggest has already been suggested. I mean, you just mentioned that, we can't do everything. And I think that was something that was definitely something for me that I had to come to terms with because I am a doom scroller. I am way too informed about certain things and I can't really look away. And I don't necessarily want to, but I had to come to a place where I'm like, okay, all of these terrible things are happening, but I am only one person. What can I control? And I also realized, if I can't control everything in the world, what can I do in my own community? And that's been the biggest thing that I suggest to people is like, look around your community and see what the needs are there. Find something that, you feel like you can confidently contribute to that isn't going to completely burn you out, that gives you a sense of purpose, hopefully a sense of joy, and just do it. Um, you know, everything that I've done in the last year, this bandwagon, the protesting, I mean, even writing the book that I wrote has terrified me. But I keep thinking that, I don't know, like it's scarier to think that we could like lose our country to everything that's happening right now. And while I can't do everything, I know that if everyone did something, we could change this together. And as you guys have said, one thing I have noticed is the moment I stepped up, so many other people were inspired to step up. And I was like, oh, that's how this works. Like, that's how we change things. So you might feel like what you're doing is insignificant, but literally doing anything that is moving in a good direction away from all of this bad stuff matters. Um, the thing that we don't want to do is get so overwhelmed by everything and shut down and decide like I can't make a difference because it's just not true. All of us can make a difference, and what you do is going to inspire others to do the same.
Absolutely. And I think that's just so important to remember right now. I think part of it is this, flood of, like I said, so many things that you see on the news. But obviously, for us here at MFFE, we've decided the free expression and the right to read and learn and grow is worth fighting for, is worth making that effort for. And, like we've been saying, you don't have to solve all of the book bans or fix everything at Dodea in one fell swoop. But making those calls, going to the school board meetings and the city council meetings and the library board meetings and showing up, submitting your comments, all of those little things that may seem so little, and maybe it's 5 minutes of your day before you go back to doom scrolling. But it matters. It really does. So I hope
Also,
everyone
like
here.
starting book clubs, like you could start a band
Yes.
club or do like public banned book readings, because I think, like they were saying, they'll pinpoint these pieces of the books that are out of context, and that will color people's perception of that book. Like reading these things out loud in public, other parts of it, the meaningful parts of it, that matters too. But yeah.
And I think we shared earlier the sign up link. If not, we'll drop it in the chat too, where you can sign up to join MFFE. I think I saw Summer on here who just hosted Banned Books Week event in Virginia Beach. If you would like support to do the same thing, like Karie said, starting a banned book reading group where you are, please let us know. We can help, plug you in with other folks. It's a great way to make connections, especially if you're new in a community. So yeah, absolutely second that. Oh, great. Thanks. Tori just shared that link in the chat so folks can sign up there. Well, excellent. Thank you, Karie. Any closing words for folks on the call?
Just to repeat myself that the little things that you do matter. And if there's something that you see that isn't being done, you can do that. You can be the one to do it. And chances are, if you do, you'll find your people that will stand behind you and help you do it. You're not going to be alone.
Well, thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing to make other folks in your community know that they aren't alone as well. And thanks for being here with us tonight.
Thank you.
And I'll turn it back to Kelly and Tori.
Libby, first of all, everybody clap for Libby because she did an amazing job.
Yes, she did.
And then I don't know about you, Kelly, but I feel so convicted and challenged in the best way between Julie and Angie and Carrie's words and them sharing their stories. I think, I'm a community organizer and I'm a military spouse, and sometimes my hope runs thin these days. But hearing them just put an emphasis on community, on showing up. We have a phrase in organizing called chop wood, carry water. I know maybe everybody has heard it, but the idea is if we commit to these small tasks every day, and if we're consistent in our activism, if we're consistent in raising our voices, that it's going to start to add up and it will have a ripple effect. And to Carrie's point, you're gonna give someone else permission to jump in and get involved. They're gonna say, wow, look at Karie, look at Kelly, look at Angie, they're doing it. I'm gonna do it too. What's stopping me? So ladies, thank you so much. I truly feel challenged and I want to just keep all of this going. So as we said, join Military Families for Free Expression. We will be putting the link again in the comments if you missed it. And this is so that you can get updates, so that you can be connected, you can volunteer, and you can even host an event. But like selfishly, guys, it's so that we can build this amazing community because to Julie and Angie and Carrie's point, community is how we win this thing. It's how we don't get bogged down, and it's how we stay persistent in this fight that we're up against. You can also join our Facebook and our Instagram page. I believe Libby already put it in the chat, but she may be putting it again. And I'm gonna toss it off to you, Kelly.
I'm just enjoying the chat. Angie said it helps to be too stubborn to stop. I think a lot of us probably share that sentiment with you. Yeah, same. Tori, my gosh, what a treat. I was listening for like commonality and themes, and it was not hard to catch for me. It started with, using your one voice, to connect authentically with not just a representative's office, but there's a human, there's a person, just like Julia answering the phone, right? Unfortunately for you, friend. But there's somebody answering the phone that you can connect with. We're still people at the end of the day. We're not people behind screens. We're not trolls, right? Like we're people. So your story shares so much power. And you've heard from our speakers, every one of our speakers, their unique individual story and lived experience is what makes their activism so powerful and attractive and magnetic and drawing others to them. So we just want to leave you all with some encouragement that you also have that story. And you're also, you guys, I'm going to take it even farther. The reason we're fighting so hard to protect the books is because those stories are there too. And that's how we develop empathy, and that's how we become a more inclusive world where everyone sees themselves represented. So what are we going to do, right? So our biggest call to action tonight is, amidst all of the links that you're seeing, calling your representatives is not a big scary thing. I know it feels like it. Y'all, I have got speed dials on my phone, and when I get mad about something, guess what? They're just going to hear about it. That's just all there is. I got all day. So call your leaders, okay? Call them in DC, call them locally, look up who you need to be contacting, where your home of record is, and frankly, y'all, where you're living. Like if you're stationed somewhere, you are still impacted by legislation that happens in that area. So even if you're not necessarily a constituent, you are still a part of that community. So feel empowered to contact whomever the powers may be that are affecting your life or your children's life. Also, we're going to ask you again a reminder about Angie's initiative in Alabama. So if you have a contact or a point of reference in Alabama that qualifies you to comment yourself, or if you know of others who might be interested in lending their voice and their story to this initiative.
Community, 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 and channel some of Angie's stubbornness and fight back and just commit to it. Remember that there is power in your voice. Remember that community is the way forward. And no matter where you are in the world, you can truly make a difference. I truly believe in that. That's not just words. You can make a difference. Make sure you do those call to actions and continue to celebrate Banned Book Week, you guys. Be loud about it, post about it, and have an excellent week and weekend, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.